Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dori Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to this post-Thanksgiving edition of Stat Boys Sports Bar. Not featuring Dori Lou today. She's a little bit under the weather with a sinus infection, but she is okay. She's just taking the day off to relax. And we have Ghost DJ's Mutt King over there, who is looking like he's straight out of the depths of hell, dude. I mean, why all the darkness?
It's been a week.
Apparently so. Okay. Well, we're just going to go with it. And as always, if you want to dictate the conversation, like always, super chat, super chat, super chat. It's as simple as that. So what do we want to talk about? Let's start off. We actually have a golf story. Thank you, Pop. The Sultan of Stats. I like that. And Harley Baby. Oh, welcome back, Harley Baby. How's it going? Good job. All right, cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a golf story to talk about since golf is on the shelf a little bit. This just got announced not too long ago. This is going to be the first annual Kevin Sorbo Charity Golf Classic right here in Sevier, Tennessee. It's not going to take place until May of 2024, but check out the guest list. And I do apologize for the alignment there. That's just a mistake, whatever. Of course, Kevin Sorbo himself is going to be there. You know him best as Hercules. And he's put his name to the tournament. Dean Cain from Lois and Clark, you best know him as Superman. John Schneider of the Dukes of Hazzard playing Bo Duke. Neil McDonough from Captain America, First Avenger. Christy Swanson, Buffy the Vampire Slayer herself. Corbin Burnson of Major League. When I told Dori Lou that news, her head just snapped up faster than The Exorcist. And this next name, Renegade, is probably going to make sure that if I don't go to this in May and I do not meet Sean Patrick Flannery of the Boondock Saints, I'm never going to hear the end of it. And of course, wrestling is represented by Nikita Koloff of the NWA Hall of Fame. So this comes up.
You said that wrong, Mikey.
I did?
It's the Russian nightmare, Nikita Koloff.
Okay, the Russian nightmare, Nikita Koloff of the NWA Hall of Fame. He will be there as well. It is a whole fan convention, so you can meet all the celebrities there, and they'll have booths and everything. And I'm considering finding out more about this so that when May comes around, the internet fans can find me and we can promote merchandising, all that good stuff. But yeah, that looks very interesting. And we do have a golf course here in Sevier County. It's actually called the Gatlinburg Golf Course, yet it's kind of close on the border between Sevierville and Pigeon Forge. It's not that far from Dollywood where I work. So there's an interesting story behind that. Apparently they wanted to keep the name even though it's in Sevierville. Go figure. It's city limit rights and all that good stuff. Anyway, that's coming up in May 2024. We'll see more. Also, in our intro, it says we cover combat sports, ring sports, boxing, MMA. Well, the group MMA Junkies has named UFC fighter Tom Aspinall as winner of Knockout of the Month for this month, November 2023. This took place at UFC 295.
85.
He defeated Sergey Pavlovich. It was for the interim heavyweight title because John Jones was injured. The match took only 69 seconds. And as you can see, there's the punch, which led to the ground and pound. The referee comes in, stops the fight. He jumps onto the top of the octagon. Your new interim heavyweight champion. There were some other nominees. There was, Benoit St. Denis against Matt Frivola. That's from UFC 295, which happened earlier. UFC Fight Night 231, Elves Brenner versus Kanan Krzyzewski. That's a tough one, but he
God bless you.
I know, really. He knocked him out with a good haymaker. Benoit St. Denis did his knockout with a kick. Now, as much as I like as much as I like MMA, don't get me wrong, a head kick can be devastating, but I like a good old-fashioned punch. A kick is more. A kick you can literally kick their head off, but a punch is much more fun. Ooh! And in Bellator 301, Jason Jackson defeated Yaroslav Amosov with a hard right hand, and that was a nominee as well. And there's one more at the Aries 17 event, and these names, wow. Abubakar Yunusov against Mustafa Aida. That had a good match as well. So there you go. Congratulations, Tom Aspinall, on becoming interesting.
How long was the fight that got the knockout of the month?
69 seconds.
Beautiful.
Nice.
1 minute and 9 seconds, and that's one of the downsides of MMA. I mean, you can hype the hell out of this. Dana White knows what he's doing. I mean, you hype them up at the fight night. They got the fists ready to go, and they look at each other. And then, you're at the event, and you have all the preliminary events and all the preliminary matches going on. And then it's down to the fight, and they walk into the octagon, and they're pacing back and forth like two caged lions, and they give each other the evil death stare, and you got Bruce Buffer right there, and fighting, and they're ready to go, and they're hyped up, and here comes Herb Dean right in the center of the octagon, and they bring them together. You want to touch gloves? No, we don't want to touch gloves. We want to kill each other. Then they walk up, and bam, done. All that hype for a 1 minute match. In reality, I mean, that's the problem. It's a good fight, and then you get that moment, and then it's like, wow, it's over that quick.
How do you think people felt in the 90s watching Mike Tyson fight? I mean, come on now.
Well, yeah, I do remember that one fight a while ago. It was the first time I actually went to a proper sports bar to see a Mike Tyson fight, and it lasted. I barely got into the second round, I think. But yeah, you're absolutely right on that. The fights that and what the last fight I think I remember was the big one between Mayweather and Pacquiao, That one I think went the distance, but fans still weren't happy because they wanted a knockout. Those bloodthirsty fans always wanting more. I get that the knockout is the way to go, but you want to get your money's worth. That's all I'm saying about that.
Yeah.
I miss a good fight. I mean, I should get back into UFC, but I am just so out of the loop. Anyway, we'll see what happens later on next month when it comes in, and who knows, maybe this will be a running thing. You never know. All righty, up next, let's take a look and see as we continue our college basketball roundup. So we're now in week 4. And the teams are all here. And where they moved and shuffled around, Purdue is the number 1 team in the AP Men's 25. They moved up a spot along with Arizona, Marquette, and UConn. They all moved up. Kansas went down 4 spots. Houston stayed the same. Duke and Miami, Florida each went up 2 spots. Baylor jumped 4 spots. They were 13th before. Now they are 9th. Our Tennessee Vols dropped 3 spots. Gonzaga stayed the same. Kentucky moved up 5 spots. Florida Atlantic moved up 6 spots. A nice jump on that one. Texas A&M dropped 2 spots. Creighton took a bit of a roller coaster drop and dropped 7 spots. Texas only dropped 1 spot. North Carolina dropped 3. Villanova, BYU, and Colorado State are all brand new to this week. So they were unranked they were below the top 25, but they're in this week. Mississippi State jumps up 4. James Madison stays the same. The Crimson Tide takes a drop 6 spots down, and Illinois and Oklahoma are new to the list. Over on the women's side, no change in the top 2 between South Carolina and the UCLA Bruins. Stanford and Iowa move up 1 spot each. North Carolina takes a big leap and jumps up 5 spots. The Trojans jump up 2 spots, and we actually have a tie for 7th position between LSU and Colorado. Very rare to have a tie in the top 25. I would prefer that got ranked over the other, but that's the way the AP works. Virginia Tech did not move. They stay in 9th place. Texas moves up 2 spots. The UConn Huskies dropped 5 spots down to number 11. Utah dropped 2. Baylor dropped 1. Kansas State and Florida State dropped 2. The Ohio State dropped 1. Indiana dropped 4. Notre Dame only joined and gained 1. Ole Miss went up 5. The Lady Vols dropped 1. Mississippi State went up 4. Louisville dropped 2. Marquette is new to this week's ranking at 23. North Carolina dropped 6 spots, and Princeton rounds out the rest of the list. Baby boy says hi. Hello, Harley baby. Zach, any thing you want to touch on?
Well,
go ahead.
LSU and Colorado being ranked the same is just retarded.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
Colorado beat LSU already. So why do they have to be tied? You could have made that the tiebreaker.
The only answer I can think of that is it's just the way the numbers added up, because as stated in the disclaimer there, they were each of the 62 people made their ranks, and somehow by coincidence the numbers added up and they both have the same number of votes or same number of points. It's just the way the numbers fall, brother. That's what happens with statistics. Unfortunately, you can't really stop addition and that. 2 + 2 is 4, 4 + 4 is 8, 6 and 2 is 8. They're tied. That's all I can think of.
With the men, I do love how James Madison is ranked the same in 2 major sports. So that's always interesting.
Indeed. All right, let's go from college to pros. We actually have there's been some interesting fan interactions going on last week.
Great.
Last week with the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard, as they played the San Antonio Spurs on November 22nd, Kawhi Leonard was at the free throw line. There he is in the first picture, and he makes the free throw. And a large, loud sea of boos is being called out by the crowd because the San Antonio fans are not happy that their boy has left for the other team. So, as you can see in the third picture, Coach Greg Popovich grabbed the PA microphone and word for word, this is cute. Excuse me for a second. Could we stop all the booing and let these guys play? It's got no class. It's not who we are. Knock off the booing. The commentators were surprised by this. They actually had a lady color commentator. She had no clue that she was doing this. That's a rarity to have the coach kind of almost in the dad voice tell the fans not to boo. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for freedom of speech and freedom of expression, but he was trying to also tell the San Antonio fans that that's not the way we act. Things happen. Players leave teams once in a while. You can be upset about it, but to just constantly boo him every time he touches the ball, it finally got to a point. The other picture there is Russell Westbrook that he recently got into it with a fan. The fan is the gentleman second row in the gray shirt, if you can see it there. The referee is holding him back in that shot. He went back to the locker room after the game, and he says this, word for word. I mean, it's unfortunate. Fans think they can say whatever they want. I'm not going to say what was said because it's not appropriate, but I'm just protecting myself. It's just unfortunate. Fans think they can get away with saying anything, and personally, I won't allow it. I've taken a lot of people saying anything and getting away with it, but I won't stand for it. So this, of course, it's all alleged because the only people that know what was said was the fan and Russell Westbrook himself. So he is defending himself. It was allegedly said that maybe he was saying something about his family. This was talked about on ESPN's First Take. This goes back again to the standard, again, you have the right to say whatever you want. There is a time and a place to say it. Saying it in an arena as your player is walking by, do you really want to be that guy? I mean, I've done it. I've said stupid things, and guess what? I've gotten called out for it. The first time I did that, Heatwave 2000. We were talking about this recently on one of the shows here on the Multiverse. I said something stupid. New Jack punked me out. I learned from it. You gotta be able to think before you speak, and I still have that problem. So, he was just saying. He was just defending himself. He just could not take it anymore. So I will give props to Russell Westbrook on this. The fan, he's just some guy. We don't know who he is. We'll probably never know who he is. Zach, you got something on this?
Yeah. It's not politically correct, so
no?
But the truth came out of what was said, but we're not gonna.
No, we're not.
We're not gonna discuss it.
All right, fair enough. Just remember, fans, like I said, you have the right to say whatever you want to say, but just think about it before you say it. Jeff says it's one thing to jeer, it's another to personally shout out our target, thinking before speaking, common sense, which, yeah, of course. I mean,
yeah.
If you're gonna say it, you're gonna get the backlash. Bottom line. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the NBA in-season tournament. Tonight is the final set of games. Meaning after today, and when we get to the next graphic, you will see the tournament structure. But what has happened so far? I will tell you. In West Group A, the Lakers won the group by defeating Utah 131-99. That's why they have a small little crown on their logo. The X's mean that the teams have been eliminated. The only team left that has a chance at the wild card is the Phoenix Suns. They are currently 3-1, and their plus 34 means that in their games, with the points they scored and the points they gave up, that is their point differential. This number is used to help break ties among teams. It first goes, their record, and this is for the second place teams in each group. The team with the better record will go as the wild card. Then it will be a head-to-head matchup. So if Phoenix and, just as an example, Houston are both tied at 3-1 after all this is over, even though Phoenix and Houston are in different groups, had they played each other and Phoenix won, Phoenix would have the tiebreaker. But unfortunately, that cannot happen. Actually, it can. Well, I mean, no, it cannot actually. Not in group play, but in standard play. So they go to the next level of tiebreaker, which is the point differential. If that's still tied, it goes to all the points that were scored. And if that's still tied, it's a good old-fashioned pick a name out of a hat, which I don't think is the proper way to do it, but you got to figure out something. So the Lakers are in. They won their group, and Phoenix is just waiting for the final games that are taking place currently. In West Group B, the Pelicans won their group after they defeated the Clippers 116.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's your team, the Pelicans. Yes.
No. Mike, they didn't win yet. Houston has to lose for the Pelicans to win the group.
No, they beat. How did I botch? The Pelicans are already in.
If Houston wins, they win the group.
I thought they already did win the group. Okay.
No, because the Pelicans didn't score enough points the other night.
Okay.
That's why this tournament's so fucking stupid. But anyway.
Yeah.
It is.
It is causing a bit of a thing. Okay. Well, then we'll just move on from there. So I'll move on to Group C then. The Sacramento Kings, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Golden State Warriors are all still alive. There's no winner yet, but if the Kings beat the Warriors, they win the group. The Timberwolves can win if they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder by at least 9 points, and that has to be more than the Golden State's win and the combined margins of the Kings and the Timberwolves together. Then one of those remaining teams will be the wild card. In the Eastern A group, the Pacers have clinched their spot. The only team left in that group is Cleveland. They need 13 points in their upcoming game to win that one. East B is wide open. All 4 teams can win. Milwaukee leads it. It looks like they're going to be in as long as they don't fall apart in their last game. And finally, in East C, there's no winner there as well. The games are being played right now. Don't have any updates about that. So then after all this is done, we'll take a look at the next graphic. It's a standard 8-team tournament. East number 1 plays the wild card. East number 2 plays East number 3. West plays the wild card, and West plays 2 versus 3. And that starts on December 4th and 5th. And those games are regular season games going all the way to the final matchup, which takes place, I believe, 2 weeks before Christmas. And they're playing for money. And, if you get to the quarterfinals, each player on the team gets money going all the way up. I think it's at $500,000 to each player. I want to confirm that, though. $500,000 to each player on a team with a roster of 20 people. That's a lot of money. So I definitely have to confirm that.
$1
So
million to the winning participants on a team. Look. I get this is a ratings grab. They're trying to get more eyes on the prize, but does anybody that any of the three of us know have taken an active increase in their NBA watching because of this?
I know I haven't, but I'm still surprised that the Lakers are actually playing better because of this. Unfortunately, in their last game, they lost by 44 points, and everyone's going, LeBron, what's wrong? What do we do need to better? And he's like, not lose by 44 points. So
it's pretty simple.
He was trying to be polite about it, but the answer is right there. I mean, what do you have to do better? Not lose. So there you go.
Well, the problem is the people still expect the Lakers to be, a one-man show. It's like, no, it didn't work except once, maybe twice with Kobe. And LeBron's not as young as Kobe was when he was, pulling the team along by his damn self. It's a team sport. They're not playing golf out there.
No, they are not. When you start playing for money, you start playing better. Let's take a look at the NBA power rankings. The Boston Celtics are still the number one team for 2 weeks in a row, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are right behind them. They moved up one spot into the second place position at 12-4. Philadelphia is at 12-5. They are tied with the Bucks and the Magic. The 76ers are at 120.5. The Bucks are at 120.4, and the Magic are at 112.6. And column one is rounded out by the defending champions, Denver Nuggets, at 12-6. They've been in that for 2 weeks. Column two is led off by the Oklahoma City Thunder at 11-5. They dropped 2 spots. The Suns did a nice little jump forward from column 3 to column 2. They're at 11-6. The Mavericks are at 10-6, and the Heat are at 10-7. The Lakers stay put in their spot at 10-8 for 2 weeks, and the Sacramento Kings, excuse me there, because if I say them as the Kings, yeah, that's going to be a botch on its own. 9-6.
Say the Kings that kick your ass.
Exactly. The middle column, where is the safe zone? The Pacers lead that column at 9-7. They've been stuck there for 2 weeks. They are tied with the Knicks. They have more points at 127.6, and the Knicks are at 109.7. Cleveland Cavaliers and New Orleans Pelicans stay put in the same spots at 9-8 and 9-9. Houston Rockets 8-6. They move up 2 spots, and the Atlanta Hawks are 8-8, and they stay put for 2 weeks. Brooklyn is also at 8-8. They're at the top of column 4. State Warriors 8-9, tied with Toronto Raptors, who haven't moved for 2 weeks. And the Clippers didn't move either. They're at 7-9. The Utah Jazz are at 6-11, and the Charlotte Hornets round out column 4. The Portland Trailblazers top off at column 5 at 5-12. Bulls are at 5-13. Memphis Grizzlies are at 3-13. They've been stuck there for 2 weeks. The Washington Wizards are 3-14, tied with the Spurs. And the bottom dwellers, the Detroit Pistons, for 3 weeks, 2-15.
Detroit Pistons sacrificing their good nature for the Detroit Lions to be successful.
Exactly. Well said indeed. All righty. We're just moving right along, getting us closer and closer to the main course and the main event, the meat and potatoes. We're getting closer, but we got more things to talk about. Let's talk about some hockey. We have a new number 1 team this week. We are in week 6 or week 7, I believe, and it's the New York Rangers. They are tied with the Boston Bruins. The Rangers have the better record at 15-4-1. They jump up 3 spots. They leap over the Bruins and the Golden Knights, who each dropped 1 spot. The Avalanche are all by themselves at 30 points. They jumped up 4 spots. The Canucks and the Kings are tied at 29. The Canucks are at 14-7-1, and the Kings are at 13-3-3. The Florida Panthers are at 27 points at 13-7-1, and the Dallas Stars round out column 1, but they did drop three spots. The Winnipeg Jets start off column 2. They've been stuck up there for 2 weeks. The Red Wings went from the bottom of column 2 almost to the top of column 2, 6 big spots at 25 points, tied with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are stuck in their position at 2 weeks at 10-7-5. The Carolina Hurricanes are at 24 points all by themselves. They move up a spot. The St. Louis Blues at 23 points. The Philadelphia Flyers are tied with the Blues. One game separates them, 11-8-1 and 11-9-1. Toronto Maple Leafs are also at 23 points at 10-6-3. Bit of almost a roller coaster drop, 5 points, not too bad, 5 spots down. And the Washington Capitals finish out the left on column 2. We go over to the right. Column 3, the Sabres are also at 22 points, 10-10-2. They jumped up to the top of column 3. They're trying to creep into column 2. The New York Islanders also at 22 points at 8-6-6. The Flames are at 21 points at 9-10, tied with the Seattle Kraken, but the Flames have a slightly better record at 8-9-5. The Nashville Smashville Predators, if you watched Monday Night Raw last night, signed 2 new defensemen in the form of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. It was great to see them come out at Bridgestone Arena last night in their Predator yellow. They were at the game the night before, and they helped the Predators win that game to get to 10-10, and they have 67 goals. They are in a tie with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They are also 10-10. It's a 4-goal lead, 67-63. The Coyotes are also at 20 points, and the Canadiens are at 20 points as well, rounding out column 3. Column 4 is led by the New Jersey Devils at 19 points, 9-9-1. My Ducks took a dive, big ones. That's a roller coaster drop. Seven spots into column 4. We did lose Trevor Zegras, I think, last week. He's on the IR, so I know one player does not make the team, but it certainly doesn't help either. The Blue Jackets are at 18 points as well, 7-12-4. The Ottawa Senators are at 8-9 at 16 points. The Oilers are at 7-12-1. The Minnesota Wild, who just fired their head coach after a 7-game losing streak, they are really hurting. They're at almost the bottom of the barrel at 14 points. They've lost 2 spots. The Blackhawks, who got rid of Corey Perry today, we can talk about that real quick. 12 points in 2 weak spots. And, of course, the Sharks just are not getting anywhere from the start of the season. It's been 6 weeks now. What's going on? But let's face it, Jeff and I this is the one thing Jeff and I agree on when it comes to California hockey, and that's we are glad to see the Sharks on the bottom. So what do we start with, Corey Perry or the Wild? Where do you want to go?
I feel bad for Minnesota because they just can't seem to hit the right ingredients in the chili pot to get anything going. It sucks because I know that's certain Dori.
Yeah.
As far as Mr. Perry.
Here we go.
Okay. I have been on an island unto myself for however long that asshole was here in Anaheim. Oh, he's good for the community. He's really a nice guy out by. Okay. If you believe the rumor behind the report, motherfucker was out banging the golden boy's mom on the road. Okay? He's married, and he's risking his job and his well-being by taking the new Blackhawks golden boy's mama to bed. Here's the deal. We've called him ferret face in this house for years after Frank Burns from MASH. What was Frank Burns' biggest thing on MASH? Was he married? Yes, he was.
Yes.
Was he fooling around with his wife? Yes, he was. Corey Perry's now officially ferret face 2.0. 100%. He's a piece of garbage human being. Wow. If you believe the rumor and innuendo. But Blackhawks, put him on the shelf, and now they're going to put him on. They put him on unconditional waivers, which means that there is no condition to it. Like if he clears waivers, they're firing his ass. They're terminating his contract. And as my dad so eloquently put it, it couldn't happen to a nicer day. Now, Now, I know you're an Anaheim Ducks person, Mikey, so I'm not going to pick on just him.
Oh, by all means, go right ahead, because as soon as he left Anaheim, I was doing the dance. I was so glad, because when I was watching him play, all I saw was the instigator, the fighter, the hothead, the not nice guy. I said, don't let the door hit you on the way out where the good Lord splits you, brother. He is now, I almost want to say it, he's almost becoming a cancer in the NHL. He's got 2 strikes. If somebody if somebody picks him up, you better make sure you know what you're doing. You get one more.
Damn, you're wrong for that, Zach. Anyway, by the way, I did see your comment. The Kings had the lowest amount of losses in the entire NHL. Let me just brag on that one for just a hot second. Thank you very much. Now, again, in this country, even in the court of social justice, you're innocent until proven guilty. You should be. Oh, yeah. So there's been no official, whatever. But if I hear anybody try to tell me how decent a person Corey Perry is when he's been removed from 2 different teams because of stuff, just go fuck off. Like, hang on, wait. Yep. Zach, what up, Christian? Wait. Where'd it go?
Come on,
you gotta find
it. Need it. Come on.
If you feel the need to defend Corey Perry at this point, please, seriously,
go fuck yourself.
Thank you very much. That from the father of the year, Christian Cage, young. Okay.
It never gets old.
Yeah. I mean, I've called him shit stain for years, and it's just like, you know what? If the poop fits, spread it.
I say flush it.
Well, no. I have no problems about getting that turd logged in my bowl. Thank you very much. All right, college football.
All right, college football from week 13. There's your top 25. I do have the information on where the new top 4 is. I will give that after I rattle off these scores. Number 1, Georgia. This is rivalry week also, so you'll see a lot of teams that play within the same state. Georgia defeated Georgia Tech 31-23. The big game, the Michigan Wolverines defeated the Ohio State 30-24. It happened, but you have to give Michigan their due. They at that point they were the better team. It's that simple. Washington defeated Washington State 24-21. Florida State defeated Florida, the Seminoles over the Gators 24-15. Oregon defeated Oregon State, the Ducks and the Beavers 31-7. Texas Tech 57-7. Alabama defeated Auburn 27-24. Missouri defeated Arkansas 48-14. Kentucky upset Louisville 38-31. Penn State defeated Michigan State 42-0. Ole Miss defeated Mississippi State 17-7. Oklahoma defeated TCU. Look at the numbers. That is not a misprint. 69-45. 114 points. I would have loved to maybe even – I don't sports bet, but if you bet over on that game, congratulations, because they made sure you got paid on that one. LSU defeated Texas A&M 42-30. Arizona defeated Arizona State. The Wildcats versus the Sun Devils 59-23. Iowa defeated Nebraska 13-10. Notre Dame defeated Stanford 56-23. Iowa State upsets Kansas State 42-35. Oklahoma State defeats BYU 40-34 in double overtime. Tennessee, we rebounded after being beat by the Georgia Bulldogs. We defeated Vanderbilt 48-24. North Carolina State defeated the Tar Heels 39-20. Tulane defeated UTSA 29-16. And Clemson defeated South Carolina 16-7. And Liberty defeated UTEP or UTEP 42-28. The current top 4, your Mount Rushmore of college football. This news just broke as of 20 minutes ago. Georgia is still number 1. Michigan is number 2. Washington is number 3. And Florida State is number 4. The Ohio State has dropped down to number 6. Next week is championship week. So there are some games. We have that other graphic, please, Jeff? Or did I not send it to you? There we go. And of course, this graphic is courtesy of Fox Sports. And let me bring up my list because I do. If you don't know all the logos, which I didn't, here we go. In the American Athletic Conference, SMU takes on Tulane. In the Atlantic Coast Conference, Florida State takes on Louisville. In the Big 12, and this is also the game that WWE is helping to promote, the Texas Longhorns take on Oklahoma State. In the Big 10, the Michigan Wolverines take on Iowa. In the Conference USA, we have Liberty versus New Mexico State. In the Mid-American Conference, Toledo takes on Miami, Ohio. In the Mountain West Conference, Boise State takes on UNLV. In the Pac-12, Oregon takes on Washington. In the Sun Belt Conference, Appalachian State takes on Troy. And of course, the conference that matters the most, I think, because of where I live, and let's face it, Tennessee is an SEC state no matter what, it's the Crimson Tide against the Bulldogs. So these are your championship games, and this essentially sets up the bowl series. I do believe next week the only game, or the week after championship week, is the traditional Army-Navy game. And then as we get closer and closer to New Year's, here's my number one problem as I looked over the list. I do not have the list currently, but I will have the list maybe in 2 weeks of all the college games.
They're hilarious.
Merchandising. Every possible sponsor you can think of is going to represent one of those games. You know, I'll tell a quick story. When I was growing up, and even in the Casa days, you know, it's the Sun Bowl, it's the Cotton Bowl, it's the Peach Bowl, it's the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, it's the Citrus Bowl, it's this bowl, that bowl, one right after the other. Now, which brand name can you put on a football game? One of them can be WWE related that is being played at SoFi Stadium. The LA Bowl. Yeah. Take note, LA Bowl. If you do not have Sean Ricker, LA Knight at SoFi Stadium, you've lost it. You've lost your opportunity at that.
I think the Alabama-Georgia game should be the ad-free shows up all because Conrad and Tony are going to be able to their ass all week until they play that
There you
game.
go. Indeed.
Throw it out there.
I mean, be forewarned. In 2 weeks when we present this list, you're going to see nothing but sponsorships.
Oh, yeah. Because
that's the way it is now. It's not about the game. It's about who's going to shell out the money. I mean, I think the LA Bowl was a Kimmel thing. I think, if I remember correctly,
that is correct.
Yeah. Well, guess what? LA Knight brings in people, so have him come out. You know, Los Angeles, let me talk to you. Yeah. Have him flip the coin. You know, if WWE truly wants to branch out into college football, here's your opportunity right here.
Yeah, because nothing excites me more than the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Oh, yeah, the Pop-Tart Bowl. What's your favorite flavor of Pop-Tarts? I'm a strawberry guy.
S'mores.
And here's another shocker. I don't even put my Pop-Tarts in the toaster. Shocker. I eat them straight out of the package.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mikey!
You. I know you're supposed to heat them up a little bit, but they're just. I don't want to wait that long. Who says you have to heat up Pop-Tarts anyway?
What are you, a fucking piece of shit?
Thank you, MJF. I mean, what are you gonna do? Make a touchdown and eat a Pop-Tart? Seriously? I don't know.
So join us in a couple weeks where we make fun of all the bowl game names.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt, that will happen. There is no doubt about it. Absolutely. Absolutely certain.
Who the fuck wrote this bullshit?
Who wrote it? The sponsors wrote it. Who could sponsor us, I wonder? Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, we need the Jeff Meacham Bowl.
Dory can sing the national anthem.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mikey!
Really? Well, that one wasn't warranted. Come on.
Jeff, who would play in the Jeff Meacham Bowl? I'm just curious.
You're muted.
I care so little about college football. I could not give less of a fuck, if I'm being honest.
I mean, we know who would play in the Greg Cherry Bowl.
Well, yeah, Notre Dame and the losing team. So that's what that is. Oh, shit. God damn it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the meat and potatoes of Stat Boy Sports Bar. It's the reason you come in here in this part of the calendar year. It's week 12 of the NFL. We start off with a shocker as the Packers beat the Lions. It's now Detroit, calm down. Everything's okay. It's just one loss. That's all it was. Jordan Love went 22 of 32 for 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, rushed 3 times for 39 yards. Jared Goff went 29 of 44 for 332 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushed 3 times for 9 yards. Wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown targeted 11 times, made 9 catches for 95 yards. Running back David Montgomery had 15 rushes for 71 yards and 1 touchdown. A.J. Dillon was targeted 3 times and made all of his catches at 38 yards. He rushed 14 times for 43 yards. Again, usually, this was a good chance for the Lions. Jordan Love said, "We are not going to be bullied." Right from the start, getting 50 yards on one play, and Detroit was like, "Oh, okay, this is not the Green Bay that we're thinking about here."
They'll be fine.
Good game though, nonetheless. But again, the Detroit fans, don't let it bother you. It's okay. It's one.
They play us this week. They're gonna rail us.
Ooh.
No Vaseline.
Oh, God.
No courtesy whatsoever.
None whatsoever at all. All right. The next game.
Woo-hoo!
Yes. The next game, of course, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Washington Commanders 45-10. Dak Prescott went 22 of 32 for 331 yards, 4 big touchdowns. He was not intercepted, so his limit of 10 is still intact. He was not sacked. Sam Howell went 28 of 44 for 300 yards. He had no touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked 4 times. Brian Robinson Jr. was your lead rusher at 15 carries for 53 yards. And Tony Pollard on the Cowboys side had 13 carries and 79 yards and a rushing touchdown. Curtis Samuel was your best receiver on the Commanders, going with 9 catches for 100 yards. And Brandon Cooks just eked out CeeDee Lamb. They both had 4 catches. Brandon had 72 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 53 yards. They both had a touchdown. Brandon was targeted 5 times, and CeeDee Lamb was targeted 9 times. Good matchup for the Cowboys. They got to enjoy their turducken. The San Francisco Seahawks had the third game of
The who?
The San Francisco 49ers beat the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, that is deserving of a botch. That I will not deny. as they beat the Seahawks 31-13 in the final matchup of the Thanksgiving triple header. Brock Purdy went 21 of 30 for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 little bitty sack for 1 little bitty yard. Geno Smith went 18 of 27 for 180 yards. He did not have a touchdown. He got picked off once. He got sacked 6 times. CMC Christian McCaffrey went 19 carries for 144 yards. And Zach Charbonnet, that sounds like almost like a drink, 14 carries for 47 yards. On the catching side, Deebo Samuel did the best for San Francisco, 7 of 9 for 79 yards. And Jackson Smith Jigba, if the N is pronounced, I do not know. He was targeted 3 times. He only made 2 catches. He only got 41 yards. So the turducken this year went to San Francisco, Dallas, and Green Bay. And if you've ever had a turducken, please let us know what it's like. It's an amazing dish, from what I hear. A duck inside of a turkey inside of a chicken, or a chicken inside of a duck inside of a turkey.
Protein. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. Yeah, different for sure. The hell,
it must be a heck of a thing to cook, I'll tell you that. All right, the Jets and their woes continue as they lose to the Miami Dolphins 34-13. It was to a time on the first Black Friday game. Thanks to Amazon Prime, they decided we're going to play the day after Thanksgiving. So unfortunately, the Dolphins and the Jets can't go shopping. Tua went 21 of 30 for 243 yards. He got a touchdown. He was picked off twice, and he was sacked twice. Tim Boyle, because Zach Wilson is benched, 27 of 38 for 179 yards, 1 touchdown, picked off twice, and sacked 7 times. I believe the record is 9 by good old number 9 Joe Burrow, but he's not playing right now. Raheem Mostert was the lead rusher for Miami. He carried the ball 20 times. He went 94 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall got targeted rushed 7 times for only 25 yards. Jalen Waddle was perfect, 8 for 8. He went 114 yards. Tyreek Hill went 9 of 12 for 102 yards. Tyreek got the touchdown for Miami. Over on the Jets side, Garrett Wilson, 7 of 10 for 44 yards. Tyler Conklin, 4 of 5 for 33 yards. The woes continue for the Jets. Not looking good in New York. Not looking good in New York at all. And not looking good for the Saints either, as they lose to the Falcons 24-15. Not a good thing there over that. That's very, very interesting. What's going? We'll give Zach.
Bueller.
No touchdowns, unfortunately, on the rushing side. Bijan Robinson went 16 of 91. He did have a rushing touchdown.
Mikey, you just froze for about 20 seconds there. Go over the Saints talking game again.
Alrighty. Derek Carr went 24 of 38 for 304 yards. Desmond Ridder went 13 of 21 for 168 yards. Desmond Ridder did have a touchdown. Desmond got picked off twice. Derek only got sacked once. Alvin Kamara was your lead rusher, 15 carries and 69 yards. Bijan Robinson, 16 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. On the catching side for the Saints, Chris Olave got 7 of 9 for 114 yards, but no touchdowns. And Drake London of the Falcons, 5 of 7 for 91 yards. Bijan Robinson, 3 of 6 for 32 yards. Zach, what's going on here? Why? What's happening with the Saints?
Here's my biggest issue with what happened Sunday.
Okay.
excuse my language when I say this,
Go for it.
eight trips into the fucking red zone and no touchdowns. Yeah, no, no, no. And now we get to play Detroit, who's angry as hell. You know, they had to ruin that poor boy's halftime show. It's all angry. It's all angry. And now Aiden Hutchinson is going to come in and just lay the pipe down. Yes, Jeff.
Speaking of halftime shows,
Here we
how about
go.
that boss of yours, huh?
I did watch that halftime show, and I did. My first problem. Well, I didn't. I wouldn't
Here we
call
go.
it a problem.
Yeah, careful.
Yes, I know I have to tread lightly because I am employed by her, but I have to watch what I say. But number one, she should have worn the iconic boots. Number two, I noticed that it almost looked like she was going to fall over because of the heels. The performance itself was good. I did like the song choices. I did like the Salvation Army tie-in because that's a big thing. But I think the biggest thing I can say is she should have worn the boots and not worn heels. That if you're gonna wear the whole costume, wear the boots. Bottom line.
You know what? When you got that kind of money and you look like this at the age Dolly's at, what you want?
But what? Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the picture.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
What was the fiasco with the Detroit halftime show? What happened on that?
So Detroit, they had the halftime show. Detroit was down 24-6 at the half. So the crowd was completely dead to the doorknob. If you turned off his music and dropped a pen, you could hear a fucking pen drop in there.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was just, and yeah, it was not a good Thanksgiving up there at Ford Field.
His setup and just all of it was just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's sad because now he has the number one song in the country, and that's not a
good shit. Yeah. Hey, Jelly Roll had a better promotion for his album last night on Raw than Homeboy did on Thanksgiving for his album.
Yeah, that was an interesting spot too.
Yes, it was fun though. It was fun to watch Dom and again JD both get punked out by a country star bigger than me. Anyway, where are we at here?
I am glad that R-Truth is back and he's here to make us laugh because we need a lot of laughter in WWE.
So good to see you on last night.
Yeah.
Anyway. Speaking of people, Josh will like this game because Greg's happy, but old Clipboard Joe, good Lord.
The Steelers in the Steel City defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 16-10. Kenny Pickett went 24 of 33 for 278 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, and sacked twice. Jake Browning went 19 of 26 for 227 yards. He scored a touchdown. He was picked off once. He was sacked 4 times for a loss of 30. On the rushing side, Najee Harris went 15 of 99. Jalen Warren went 13 of 49. Najee Harris got the touchdown. On the rushing side, this I've noticed a lot with the Bengals. A lot of them do not rush. There's hardly any rushing in Cincinnati. Joe Mixon had 8 carries for only 16 yards, and Jake Browning only ran the ball 3 times. On the catching side, Pat Freiermuth, 9 of 11 for 120 yards. And Jamar Chase, 4 of 6 for 81 yards. Drew Sample got the touchdown, a 1 catch for 11 yards there. But Cincinnati really, they really need to Run the ball, because they're not giving me any statistics here at all. They're not doing good either, but that's another point besides that. I mean,
Yeah.
but yes, Greg Cherry will be happy tomorrow when you watch his show tomorrow. Indeed.
And the only bit of good news in the Khan family this week.
Yeah. There you go. All righty. Up next, the Jaguars are having pretty good run. Trevor Lawrence is playing much better. Jaguars are 8-3. They won 24-21. Trevor Lawrence went 23 of 38 for 364 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The defense couldn't touch him. Unfortunately, the defense got to C.J. Stroud. He only went 26 of 36 for 304 yards. He did score 2 touchdowns. The defense got to him 4 times and sacked him for 43 yards. Travis Etienne Jr. ran the ball 20 times for 56 yards. But Trevor Lawrence was the one. He did it himself. He got the touchdown in. C.J. Stroud was top rusher, 6 carries for 47 yards. He has a touchdown on his own. Devin Singletary also had 6 carries, but he only got 18 yards. On the catching side, Calvin Ridley got 5 of 6 for 89 yards. He scored the touchdown. Nico Collins, 7 of 9 for 104. Jaguars running away. They're contenders this year. They weren't last year. They were always being picked on because of all this stuff that Tony Khan does, but it is don't sleep on Jacksonville. I know we're always putting Detroit first, but don't sleep on the Jaguars yet. The Buccaneers and the Colts play, and the Colts win by a touchdown, 27-20. Baker Mayfield went 20 of 30 for 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Defense got to him 6 times. Gardner Minshew, 24 of 41, 251 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, and he got sacked twice. On the rushing side, Rachaad White carried the ball 15 times for a nice, even C note, $100, 100 yards, 100 bills, right on the money. Jonathan Taylor, 15 carries for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns over on the Indianapolis side. Mike Evans, 6 of 9 for 70 yards, 2 touchdowns there. And Michael Pittman Jr. got 107 yards on the Colts side. Also, Tampa Bay coming up can put Carolina out of its misery next week. We'll get to that very quickly when we talk about the power rankings. I just want to throw that match out there that next week. Marshall has a question. Is the Jacksonville Jaguars kicker Brandon McManus worth picking up for fantasy football? Fantasy God, what say you?
Well, I would say yes as of this moment, but I would wait till the situation in New Orleans plays out, because if the Saints do like they're planning to do this week, then I would pick up Mason Crosby.
Looking at his stats, I see he has an 88.5 percentage rate in making field goals. He's perfect on his extra points. His longest field goal is 56 yards. Of course, the record is only 10 yards farther back. So I'm going to say yes, pick him up. He's worth it. I would like his field goal percentage to be in the 90s. I mean, an 88, that's like a B+. So I'm going to say yes, get him going. It is late in the season, though. I mean, you've only got 5 weeks left. So, and with the way Jacksonville is playing, and they are a contender. Spoiler: they will be in column 1, so they have a chance. Absolutely, sign that man. I say yes. All right. Next up is
Before we go to the next game, I actually have a live look in at Bill Belichick in his office.
Never gets old. Never gets old. I love it. I love it. All right, yeah, because in a battle of the East Coast teams, the Giants beat the Patriots 10-7. Mac Jones went 12 of 21 for 89 yards. Bailey Zapp went 9 of 14 for 54 yards. Mac Jones was picked off twice. Bailey Zapp was picked once. Both of them were sacked. Bailey got sacked for 7 yards. Mac Jones got sacked at the line of scrimmage. Hey, DeVito, Tommy boy, 17 of 25 for 191 yards, 1 touchdown, did not get picked off, but he got sacked 6 times. So, I mean, you got 2 quarterbacks on New England. You got a quarterback getting sacked in New York. Who knows? Ramondre Stevenson almost got 100 yards. He was 2 yards shy, carried the ball 21 times. Saquon Barkley only got 46 yards, 12 carries there. Demario Douglas was top receiver, 6 carries out of 9 targets, or 6 catches out of 9 targets, 49 yards. Jalen Hyatt broke the centennial mark, 5 out of 6 for 109 yards. Yeah, Belichick, he's facing the wrath of little Bart too. When you see when you see that coming up in the power rankings as well.
The Penguin wins again.
There you go.
Indeed.
And now the only reason Belichick hasn't completely lost his damn mind is because he's not coaching the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead. Okay.
Might get realize he's frozen again, so when he comes back to realizing that he's not, having a spaz here.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Mike, go ahead and I wouldn't reboot at this point. We're almost done, but just go ahead and be aware. There you go. Yeah. You're good.
We're almost done anyway here. The next game was what was the next game?
The Panthers.
Let's talk about them.
Oh, I'm ready.
17-10, the final score. The Panthers are on life support. They are getting ready to pull the plug. The season playoff elimination coming up anyway. Bryce Young went 18 of 31 for 194 yards. He was sacked 4 times. Will Levis, 185 yards. He only got sacked once for 1 small yard. Chuba Hubbard, 14 carries of 45 yards. Derrick Henry, King Henry, 18 carries for 76 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Jonathan Mingo, 4 catches out of 6 for 60 yards. DeAndre Hopkins, 3 catches for 49 yards. Go ahead, Zach. What do you got to say?
Listen. Jeff, I need your input on this too. So the man has fired over 1,800 employees this year that work for him.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Wright is a Super Bowl winning coach, and you fire him 11 games into the season. You have no patience. It's not his fault he inherited this god-awful monstrosity of a roster quarterbacked by a rookie. How 1,800 employees? 1,800.
It sounds like you did away with the whole
Why
stadium.
are you even in the NFL if you have that little patience?
Yeah, I'm blocking my own shot here. It's one of those you can't terminate somebody or God, why am I blocking the shots with this damn camera? You can't let somebody go halfway through a campaign. It's like, and again, I'm not one to give credit to this man very often, but they're not wrong. He's not wrong when he defends himself like this. It's like WWE bringing in Vince Russo to put a light little round band-aid over a freaking gaping wound, and then giving him 3 months for saying, "Okay, just kidding, fuck off." Like, no, you can't do that. You have to let it play out, and it's obvious this owner or the GM or whoever it is, You're right, Zach. There's no patience because 1,800 employees in one season is not a roster problem. It's a ownership problem with patience. It's kind of ridiculous, if I'm being honest.
Okay. So, just out of curiosity, at what point does the other owners step in and be like, well, wait, maybe this guy has a problem. Maybe this is something that we need to bring to the round table and discuss. I mean,
Well, it's one of those you got to tread that line because it's not the NFL's responsibility necessarily to rein in the chaos of one team. And the other thing is, like you said, the coach, the coaching staff, the executives on the team did not get to choose the shit show they've inherited. They just, these players are not doing anybody any favors. Their quarterbacks, fresh out of the package, brand new rookie kid. They just have to exercise patience, and they're not going to do that. So it's not the league's responsibility to plug the holes in the boat. I've learned, with anything in life, Zach, whether it's addiction or anything, you have to want to get the help. And Carolina ownership doesn't seem to want the help. So just let them falter, and then they become the Oakland Athletics, and they get to move. So there.
My guess is after this week, if it's not if it's a when. I mean, unfortunately, Tampa Bay is playing Carolina. If this was still the Brady era, kablamo, that's it. They're done. That's it. Good night. Then they'll make the decisions, because at that point, you'll still have to play out and finish out the season. We get that, but there's just the goal is not there. They can do the rebuilding phase, the mass. That's when I think it should happen. Once that plug is pulled, that makes sense. If you do it now, if there's 0.0 chance of anything happening, okay, fine. But if there's as Dori Lou teaches us to stay positive, if there's a slight bit of hope, a slight bit of positivity, work with it.
Okay, but to counter that, they're 1-10. They're 1 in what?
1-10, yeah.
They're 1-10. They're not gonna make the playoffs. They have to win out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you know what's
they're not gonna.
You know what's the most fucked up part about that is? They're 1-10, but they can still win the division.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the whole division's a shit show. They're at the NFC East during pandemic year. They're awful. The whole division's a ridiculousness.
And I think that has happened in football for at least the last 2 years, where we have said what is happening in this division. Because it happened, I think, in the NFC North at one. I think
this division.
Was it this division?
Yeah, this division. Yeah. It was this division 1 year. It was the NFC East during the pandemic year, because the entire East was a giant shit show. And then of course Baltimore decided to have everybody hold their beer and screw out everybody's pooch. Fucking Ravens. Anyway,
it's just the way the playoffs are structured. I mean, the team that is not doing the best, but is doing the best within that smaller group is in. That's where the problem lies. What you should do is take the better team and give them the better spot and say, okay, you're in, but you got to work for it. And if you're not working for it, bye, you're done.
Well, but again, it's like you said, that's how all current professional sports are structured. You have divisions that lead to playoffs. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it. Why are you having like you're having a seizure? What are you doing?
Cracking neck. I'm good.
Jesus Christ, scaring the hell out of me. I thought you were having a moment. Like, do I need to call a hospital? Yeah,
I wouldn't have.
Okay. Anyway, I'm just saying. Anyway, so much like with Carolina, with first of all, if New England has a chance to fire Belichick, please fucking do it. Number one, because fuck him. Number two, Marshall, I think both New England and Carolina need to stop the bleeding. The difference is Carolina, it's the guy at the top, the guy that spends the money, the guy that makes the decisions. New England, Belichick is the general manager as well as the coach, but he's not the owner.
Right.
If I'm the ownership of New England, I'm going, okay, Bill, here's the deal. And finding a way to get him reassigned. Because he's not getting the job done. Yeah. he's not getting the job done. That team has been slipping progressively every year since Tom Brady left. That's not insulting them for once, so go with it. That's just a statement of fact. And Belichick's not results guy anymore. And again, I'm trying to be really diplomatic as far as this part of the statement. I already said it, told him to fuck off. So if a guy assigned to a job is not getting the job done, they need to be removed from the situation. It happens across sports. You're not talking about all the time, Mikey. Yes, the coach got fired this week. But again, that's to set an example in most cases. But to Zach's point, 1,600 employees across the franchise in this season is a telling thing that it's not just the folks on the field, the folks making decisions that will go on the field. It's throughout the franchise. It's a clusterfuck in Carolina right now. So we'll see what happens the rest of the way. We need to keep going. I'm sorry.
Well, Bill, Tapper's interested in bringing Bill to Carolina. So that tells you where his mind is.
So I have two things to say to that. If that happens, Carolina will become my new least favorite team. Number one. Number two, I almost hope it happens to the Patriots just so they can rebound without Belichick's decision-making bullshit. Like I really do. Isn't that crazy how that works? All right, where are we at here? What game are we on? I'll find it. Oh, God. Yeah. Freaking Arizona decided to bend over and take it with no lube either this week.
Tyron, baby!
37-14 is the final in that game. Matt Stafford went 25 of 33 for 229 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Defense couldn't touch him. Kyler Murray, 27 of 45, 256 yards, 1 touchdown. Defense got to him 4 times. Kyron Williams, 16 carries, 143 yards. Royce Freeman was the rushing touchdown on that one. He had 13 carries for 77 yards. Arizona had James Conner, 6 carries for 27 yards, and Michael Carter of 14 carries for 9 yards. Tutu Atwell had the most yards, 3 catches out of 3 for 76 yards. Kyron Williams had 6 for 61. Marquise Brown, 6 of 12, 50%, 88 yards. Trey McBride, 7 of 9 for 60 yards. And Arizona's on the firing squad too. They better pick it up. You'll see in the next graphic. So,
Kyrie, baby.
Yeah, Arizona's not looking good.
Fucking Sean.
This is a very interesting game and a very interesting score. 29-12 was the final as the Browns lose to the Broncos. Defense decided the Broncos decided to play defense on this game and just score points like crazy. Dorian Thompson-Robinson went 14 of 29 for 134 yards, 1 touchdown. Didn't get picked off and didn't get touched. But P.J. Walker came in 6 of 13 for 56 yards. Defense got to him and sacked him 4 times. Russell Wilson, 13 of 22 for 134 yards, sacked once, 9-yard loss. Jerome Ford, 9 carries for 65 yards. Javonte Williams, 18 carries for 65 yards. Almost even, double the carries, but same yardage. David Joku, 6 catches, 9 targets, 59 yards. Cortland Sutton, 3 catches, 6 targets, 61 yards. Cleveland took a bit of a drop on this one. Denver decided to play. Bottom line.
Sean Payton figured it out for real.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, sir.
And it pisses me off.
All righty. Up next. Yeah. Chiefs win against the Raiders. But are we surprised? Not really. I don't think so. Good old Patrick Mahomes. 27 of 34, 298 yards, 1 sack. He got 2 touchdowns, was not picked off. Aiden O'Connell, who is probably not playing next week off of a report I saw. 23 of 33, 248 yards, 1 touchdown. Didn't get picked off. Got sacked big for 13 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, only 55 yards. He got 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs did break the centennial mark, 20 carries for 110 yards. Rashee Rice, 8 catches out of 10 for 107 yards. Travis Kelce, 6 catches out of 7 targets for 91 yards. Rice had the touchdown. And Jacoby Myers, 6 out of 7 for 79 yards. Devontae Adams, 5 of 7 for 73 yards. Chiefs win. What more can you say about that?
Who's the quarter?
What's that?
Who's the quarterback? Rosie O'Donnell?
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
Aiden O'Connell. Yeah.
And now the reason that, at least for this week, the least favorite team of the Jeff Meacham Network is the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. What a game this was. This was actually an exciting game. You know, I was actually pulling for the Bills in this one because, of course, I've been saying for the past couple of weeks, I want to put the Detroit Lions at the number 1 spot. The Bills could have done their job, but unfortunately, it just didn't happen. 37-34 in overtime. Josh Allen went 29 of 51 for 339 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked once. Jalen Hurts, 18 of 31, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, picked off once and sacked twice. Josh Allen was also lead rusher, carrying the ball 9 times for 81 yards, 2 touchdowns on his own. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 80 yards. Jalen Hurts got 2 touchdowns on his own as he ran the ball. And on the throwing side, Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs and James Cook all had 6 receptions. Gabe was 6 of 12, Stephon was 6 of 11, and James was 6 of 7. Gabe broke the centennial mark at 105, Stephon at 74, and James Cook at 57. On the Eagles, Devonta Smith, 7 catches, 8 targets. He broke the centennial mark at 106. There is a scenario where the Eagles will clinch next week. It is a possibility. This is going into week 13. Of course, they have to win. And as they play San Francisco next week, the odd story is that Philadelphia is an underdog in their own stadium. What's up with that? 3-point underdog in Philadelphia against, if you want to call them rivals, go right ahead. But, I mean, come on. They're going for a playoff spot here. Make them the favorite. How do we think about that? Go ahead.
The reason why they are the underdog is because San Francisco is pissed, and this is the revenge game. It is the Purdy revenge game because Philly took them out in the playoffs, which should have put Purdy in the fucking Super Bowl. That's why.
And I promise you this, if Eagles clinch next week, the other thing that's going to break the centennial mark is my blood pressure.
Yeah. That's just how it works, folks. That's just how it works.
Fuck it.
In the Sunday night game, Baltimore beats Los Angeles 20-10. Lamar Jackson, 18 of 32, 177 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 sacks, no interceptions, 13-yard loss on that one. Justin Herbert, 29 of 44 for 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he got sacked 3 times for a loss of 24 yards. Keaton Mitchell was top rusher for the Ravens, 9 carries, 64 yards. Justin Herbert was lead rusher, 4 carries, 47 yards. Austin Eckler held the ball more. He got 10 carries, but only got 32 yards. Isaiah Likely only got 4 catches for 40 yards. And Keenan Allen broke the centennial mark at 14 out of 16 for 106.
Yeah, baby.
Baltimore up there.
Yes.
Number 1 in their conference again. And
then we go to Monday, and Minnesota sports will continue.
If Dori isn't feeling good, she was not feeling good at the end of this game. I'll tell you that right now, as 2 division rivals. I mean, this game, you could say it went all the way down to the wire because that's when Minnesota finally decided to score a touchdown, but it just did not work out as the Vikings dropped a game to the Bears, their rivals. Now, let's not panic, Vikings fans. Don't worry. Everything is A-okay. They still have their playoff spot. You'll see that coming up. Well, you won't see that, but they are still in the last wild card spot. As long as they're in the playoffs right now, I'm for that. Justin Fields, 27 of 37 for 217 yards. Josh Dobbs, 22 of 32, 185 yards. This is where they lost the game. He got picked off 4 times. I mean, that's playing NFL blitz, and all you see is interception in your sleep. 1 touchdown, sacked twice for 16 yards. Justin Fields was the top rusher, carrying the ball 12 times for 59 yards. Alexander Madison rushed the ball 10 times for 52 yards. DJ Moore broke the centennial mark at 11 catches out of 13 targets for 114. TJ Hawkinson was the touchdown with about maybe 3 minutes left to go in the game. I really don't remember. 5 of 6 for 50 yards. And then Chicago, in a rarity, wins a game without scoring a touchdown. 4 field goals is all it takes as the Bears stay alive, because had they lost this game, they would be out of contention for their division. They still could have won their wild card spot. There's still a chance for that to happen, but they said, no, we will not go away.
We lost Mikey again for a second. Yeah, it's been one of those. It may have been the most boring Monday night game I've ever seen in my life. When I went out to go check on the stats of the game, it was like 9-6. It's like, what the hell are we doing? Why would we even bother? It was awful. Just one of those games that just did not.
What happened?
Did not connect. It may have been the most boring Monday night game in Thanksgiving week history. It was just lousy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I was running back and forth between the football game and Raw last night. So, and I was safe on the stairs, just so everyone knows that. I kept going up and down the stairs every day.
Good. Okay, good.
And I mean, they put Punk on last. So go ahead, Zach.
So a little news coming out of this game, out of Minnesota's front office.
Uh-oh.
Minnesota's going to sit down this week and truly analyze the quarterback situation.
Right.
They will not name who the starter is for Sunday until the end of the week, until they figure out who gives a returning Justin Jefferson.
Yes, thank God for that.
They
need him back bad.
Yeah, they need something, that's for sure.
Because no offense to TJ Hawkinson, he can't do it all. He did good last night in the clutch, but then, I'm seeing Josh Dobbs literally like run all over the field, throwing at the wrong time. A couple of the picks were tipped, and I do like those plays. I do like, because that reminds me of dodgeball, when you tip the ball and then you can catch it. But if the other receiver is just coming in and grabbing the interception, that's where it hurts most.
Right. My guess is Nick Mullen is going to get the start this week. That's my guess.
Let's see what happens.
Mikey, if I may be so bold here, let's go ahead and show the graphic and just rattle off the important stuff, because your tech issues are having a tough time, and we gotta make sure we get off the air here, because Noah and JJ are on the air on the other side of things. So we gotta get them moving.
Good call. So as you can see, the Eagles are the number 1 team, 6 weeks strong.
Ooh.
Ravens are right behind them at 9-3. They move up 1 spot. Cowboys are in the number 3 spot. Dolphins in the number 4 spot. San Francisco in the number 5 spot. Detroit in the number 6 spot. All the teams from Dallas down to KC, 8-3. In column 2, the Browns are 7-4, tied with the Steelers. Colts, Texans, and Broncos and Seahawks are all 6-5. The Bills and the Vikings round out the left at 6-6. You move over to the right, Rams, Packers, Saints, Bengals, Falcons, all at 5-6. Raiders all by themselves at 5-7. Chargers and Buccaneers at 4-7. We go to column 4. Titans and Jets at the top. Commanders at 4-8, tied with the Bears, who have not moved in 5 weeks. The Giants haven't moved in 2 weeks. The Patriots at 2-9, the Cardinals at 2-10, and the Panthers at 1-10. And as you can see, little Bart down there in the corner has been busy marking off who can't win what. So those 3 teams down at the bottom, the Giants, the Cardinals, and of course the Panthers cannot.
Yes, definitely the Panthers.
They are on the verge of elimination. Carolina, Arizona, and the Patriots. I should have. I think I am missing a graphic there that he missed one, but that's okay. So after week 13, there are plenty of scenarios. Check out. I'll give a quick shout out to NFL Playoff Scenario on Twitter. He's the guy that helps me out. He does all of his scenarios by hand, folks. He does not use the ESPN playoff machine. He is actually in there with pen and paper, and he is figuring it all out. Kudos to him.
I love it.
All righty, so we close the book on the week. Let's take a look at some shills and what's coming
All
up.
right.
And then
Here we go. Aaron.
Go ahead, sir.
You're good. Airing right now on the Casa D-18 Studios as well as Silverman brand right now. We'll go ahead and get. Oh, we have it. We have a super chat.
Whoa! Hey.
CJ says.
Chappelle.
Solo Monster and I agree. It's time to. Okay, CJ. I love the super chat. It's the wrong show though. But I'll go ahead and read it off because this is a wrestling show. But we'll go ahead and throw it up there. Solo Monster and I agree. It's time to turn Bailey back to babyface. Do you agree? Do you see AJ Lee coming back at some point? Even if it's just one more match. I agree to both of those. I don't know about AJ coming back for a match, though. She was mentioned last night during Punk's all too brief reintroduction of Monday Night Raw for me. Yes, I do see her coming back. I still think she should be like a what's the word? She should be the auxiliary GM overseeing the entire women's division. That's what I would do because I don't think April wants to wrestle anymore just because her body's been beat up and she's just not in that headspace. As far as Bailey, just give it time. Give it time. WrestleMania against EO. Yes, sir.
She should take Adam Pearce's job.
No. Adam's a pal. I want Adam and Nick to both be still the GMs. Just have AJ be the auxiliary in charge of the women's division across the board. That's what I would do.
Leave Pierce alone. He is a friend of the family of the channel.
That's our boy.
Yeah.
CJ, patience. We're doing the shills right now. Patience, my brother. Patience. You arrived just in time. All right. Let's get back to what the hell I'm trying to do my shills. Interruption. All right. So Aaron, right now, over here on the Casa D-18 Studios, as well as Silverman Brand, our pals JJ and Noah are doing a simple take talking about Survivor Series and AEW Full Gear. You can check out AJ's. Jesus Christ, I got AJ in the brain now. JJ's review of the last weekend's shows as well as last night's Monday Night Raw in the archives on the Casa D-18 Studios, as well as the rest of the week's reviews. Of course, tomorrow will be his NXT review. Wednesday or Thursday morning will be his review of Dynamite. And then the pattern recycles itself. So check it out exclusively on Casa D-18 Studios. You can also check out the archives on both the Casa and my channel for Monday mornings or afternoons episode of Dads, not always on wrestling, as we talk about the top 10 all-time baby faces. Thanks to Mikey for the help on one of the pictures on that one.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow, the Greg Cherry Show returns with another Spintacular. Check that out at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. Thursday, CJ, this chat is for you. Talk Wrestling will be live from downtown Disney in beautiful, not so sunny, stupid weather, Anaheim, California at 4 p.m. Disneyland time, right before I go to dinner with my buddies from out of town. Saturday, Open Mic Night will feature the return to the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse Media of our buddy Gino Told You So, Gino Rivera, however you want to classify his name. Check out as the panel of Open Mic Night gets to ask Gino anything pretty much within his criteria. That'll be Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. Pacific. The We Still Gonna Die Tour 2024 kicks off early as we have 4 nights of watch-alongs, 5 watch-alongs total in December alone. Tribute to the Troops, NXT Deadline, Impact's final show on pay-per-view as Impact Wrestling Final Resolution, Ring of Honor Final Battle, and of course World's End. Our Christmas karaoke on the eve of Christmas Eve will be December 23rd, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. It all leads to episode 100 of Open Mic Night, the end of year 4 of the Jeff Meacham Network, beginning of year 5. It's our anniversary show that we do every year, our coast to coast countdown to 2024, the 2023 highlight reel. So much in store for New Year's Eve, beginning at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, as we count down to 2024 on the East Coast side of things. You can check out our friend Attila at Rangers Wrestling on YouTube. He wasn't here today, but check out Big G across social medias, as well as the Cleveland combatant Josh Mansfield. I could not find your graphic to save my ass, Zach. What is your what are your social media accounts?
DJ Mud King Official on Instagram and Fluffy Madden God on Twitter.
Tail, much appreciated. Of course, you can follow this sad little at War Ginger across social media, as well as here on the Casa D-18 Studios. You can check out all the socials, and Mikey and Dori are on Facebook, Twix, and Instagram as well. Follow both barkeeps. We close the show as we do, even though she's not here, with Dori Lou's Weekly Delight. Mikey, take it away.
This is from Thomas Barrett. As you know, we always, in a world of negativity, we try to bring the positive in the world. And this is what our positive for the week is. You may think that you are completely insignificant in this world, but someone drinks coffee in the favorite cup that you gave them. Someone heard a song on the radio that reminded them of you. Someone read the book that you recommended and plunged headfirst into it. Someone smiled after a hard day's work because they remembered the joke that you told them today. Someone loves themselves a little bit more because you gave them a compliment. Never think that you have no influence whatsoever. Your trace, which you leave behind with every good deed, cannot be erased. I don't know where Dori Lou finds these, but sometimes I think she is trying to teach me, and she's doing a damn good job of it. Hopefully, Dori Lou will be back next week with us after this nasty sinus stuff goes away. We'll see you all at the regular time again, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday. As we go through, we might be able to finally get a clinch, and 3 teams fall by the wayside. Stay positive, friends. I love you all. See you next week. For the staff, out.
Oh, do it again. You broke up.
Oh, no, I didn't. For the stat girl and the stat boy, out.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Airing right now. Go check them out.